What do you see? What is the worth you place on yourself? I know within this vast canvas of life there are multitudes who remain unseen. Pretty much like being looked down upon, mere shadows in a world blind to their intrinsic worth. But I need you to understand that before the world can see your true worth, you need to see yourself through the eyes of God. And that's because it's only God who knows our true identity and our values and worth. Man was created after God, and the implication of that is you cannot understand the true value of a man except you study God. Animals were made after their own kind. It means if you want to know a dog, you can study another dog. But for you to know a man, you cannot study another man. You need to study God because man was made in God's image. Life came into being because of him, for his life is light for all humanity. That's John chapter 1 verse 4. So it's only in God's light that we see light. Unless God illuminates the tablets of our hearts, we cannot see our true worth. I implore you, do not surrender your value to the judgment of others. For in the eyes of God, you are anything but insignificant. Can you fathom the magnitude of God's sight? He beheld Adam, a solitary being, and saw an entire world. He cast his gaze upon Abraham and glimpsed nations waiting to be born. Oh, in Jacob, the cunning deceiver, he envisioned the arrival of a Messiah. And in Moses, the stained hands of a murderer, God perceived a mighty deliverer. What about Saul? A terrorist who was a terror against God's people. Yet God sees a mighty apostle whose epistles will disciple generations yet unborn. Pause for a moment and allow these truths to wash over you like a gentle rain. Picture a young man burdened with a stammering tongue, standing before the creator of all. Can you imagine the raw power of that divine encounter? For in that very moment, God saw not a mere mortal, but one of the greatest leaders in history. Talking about Moses. Contemplate the astonishing nature of our God. He gazed upon a lowly shepherd boy named David and saw the heart of a king. In the midst of the fields, surrounded by sheep, God's eyes pierced through the surface and beheld a royal destiny. We all need an encounter with the Spirit of God to discover our true identity. So in times of doubt, remember the words of Psalm 139 verse 14, which declare, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Yes, my beloved, you are fearfully and wonderfully made by the very hands of God himself. Every stroke, every detail, intricately fashioned with divine purpose. Take heart, for when God gazes upon you, he does not see a mere whisper in the wind. No, he hears a symphony resounding with celestial harmonies. As it is written in Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 17, the Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love, he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing. Let not the limited perspective of others dampen the brilliance that shine within you. Embrace the truth that your worth is not determined by the opinions of those who fail to see your essence. Your worth is found in the connection between your spirit and the Spirit of God. In Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, we find a promise that ignites the flame of hope within us. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Embrace this truth, my dear friends, and let it fortify your spirit. Let it embolden you to rise above the constraints of limited vision and walk in the fullness of your divine potential. You are vessels of divine inspiration, carriers of light in a world heavily shrouded in darkness. In Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31, we are reminded, but those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and grow not weary. They will walk and not faint. May the fire of this truth burn within you. propelling you to heights unimaginable. Embrace your divine purpose, for you were made for such a time as this. Now, let God through His Spirit speak directly to your heart and soul. While others may cast their glances upon you and perceive a nobody, God's gaze illuminates the essence of a worthy somebody. Release the shackles that bind you. Today, I declare your emancipation from the chains of self-doubt in the name of Jesus. You are free, free to be the somebody God ordained you to be. Rise above the clamor of comparison, for you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Step into the fullness of your divine calling and let your light shine with radiant brilliance. You are not a mere nobody. You are a cherished child of the Most High God, destined for greatness. Yeah, let the tears of revelation cleanse your spirit and ignite a fire within you. Embrace your true identity, for you are somebody, an instrument of divine purpose in this beautiful symphony of life.